Morning, everybody. Happy Saturday to you. We are out on the trail of, well, Missy Jen, what would we call it? Mobile FEMA camping here. You know, ever since they broke up the Santa Rosa FEMA camp, which had several hundred people living in it behind the Dollar Tree store, they have really had a diaspora and scattered everywhere all over Southwest Santa Rosa, to the point where the cop told us that night when he came by, when we had that tweaker that came on the property and left his money and keys and sweatshirt, that all the action in the city's down in this southwest quadrant over here. So
this quadrant here.
A lot of action, a lot of homeless everywhere. So we thought today we got a lot of people request to us and say, why don't you follow up what's going on with the homeless? And Round Eye, one of our friends on YouTube this morning, suggested we go down and check out the we have another point of confrontation down here where we have some pretty fancy office buildings on what's called Apollo Way off of Corporate Center down here. Fancy buildings, and they have a whole fleet of people now parking their RVs and living down there, cooking outside and doing all kinds of things, and they're starting to run into problems with the people that are working down there. And I think some guy got his ass handed to him. Some worker down there came out late at night or something. So some people are all up in arms. There was an article, if you look at www.pressdemocrat.com this morning, you can see an article about, or yesterday, maybe it was Thursday, the confrontations that are now going on. We're just in an area where everybody has been moved out, so friction's high. It's an expensive place to live. We have a dire shortage of housing, especially after the fires. So, and a lot of these people, I would say the overwhelming majority, don't want to be in housing. They do want to be out on the street and doing their thing, and that's the reality. We got a lot of people that are very tied up with drugs and really don't care to be a part of mainstream society. That's a choice they make. But when you have bureaucratic organizations who need to be fulfilling their mandate or appearing to every day, it's in their interest to always exaggerate problems and always jump in and think that they can save the world. Well, the cost for the rest of us is exceedingly expensive, because they learn an expensive lesson that you can't change the world. As I've said before, back starting in the 1960s, the Great War on poverty and all that, so we have just as much today, and probably people are worse off, worse educated, and all because of the overwhelming good-hearted deeds that people have performed. The road to hell is paved with good intentions, as they say. And
people need to have self-motivation.
And the problem is, when you're a bureaucracy and stuff, and you're human services, you want to keep your job, you want to grow your departments, you want to grow your services, you want to expand your budget. So it's in your interest to really perpetuate a lot of problems we see. And perpetuating it, I don't mean contributing for people to use drugs and do whatever, living that lifestyle. But I do mean that they don't do the tough love things that are really required to really get people to have a dramatic change in their lives by withdrawing support, not feeding the people, not providing housing. Because, you know, let's face it, Missy Jen, the overwhelming majority of these people don't want to do anything all day long. It's a lifestyle that they chose. And as much as that might be unacceptable to those bureaucracies, that's the reality that the rest of us see, from the president right on down the line. And it's a new era where people have to stand on their own 2 feet. Well, of course, California's at the back end of that reality, so we just continue to piss money away and envision a better tomorrow built on giving away the store today and robbing everybody else of their of their rightful dues as taxpayers and all that. Anyway, that's enough of my soapboxing today. we'll see you over there. Let's head down here. You guys can get an idea of some of the fancy places down here. I think this is Apollo Circle.
Yep, there
Here, so we'll go in from the south end down here.
There's a whole bunch of them sitting
Yeah, we'll come in down here. As I swing to the left here, you'll be able to see a lot of these around here. We do have our press passes today, just in case. Now you can see these people on the right have basically set up camp over here. They'll tell you they have nowhere else to go, but you can see all the junk that's littered around. Some people legitimately don't have a place to stay after the fires and everything. So we'll check it out a little bit on foot. But you can see there's a lot of RVs. There's a lot of tension with the people that work around here. Santa Rosa allows you 72 hours before your vehicle has to be moved, and what these people will do is just move around the circle. Move a couple hundred feet and then be there again. This is
Oh my God, that's all the way around there.
yeah, it's all around here. It's a whole place.
There's a whole bunch all the way down that way. There's a trashy one with no door.
Yeah, the door might be open. I mean, we're not heartless people, Jen and I, but we are realists when it comes to things. You do have to be properly licensed, though, to be on the street. And it looks like every junky RV in the area is just here. There's a guy setting up his pop-up here. There's the big Nokia building, Jen, enormous thing that they put up in 2003, 4.
They don't want to.
Well, I think it actually Kaiser is taking that over now. That's why it's Airstream down here.
Oh man, there's a whole bunch down there.
So obviously, wherever you have a situation where sort of high-end workers clash with low-end livers, you're going to have some problems. But in this situation, the cops are kind of helpless. There's not a lot that they can do.
No license plates on the car.
Not surprisingly, the guy that was mayor during the fires has chosen not to run again. Not to stand again for mayor. We don't have elected mayors. We have rotating mayorship off of the city council. See, I think that's the Kaiser over there.
There's a Cadillac without tags.
Some people have just used this to be dumping grounds now for just dumping vehicles, figuring it's a good cover that people are living in RVs and stuff, and who's going to really care to investigate. So a lot of people living in their cars, which, it is what it is. If you got no other place to live, that's fine, but at least try to be neat and clean in the area. That's an important thing to do, and try to better yourself a little bit, you know? Go down here a little further is the fire station. It's a fire station on the right.
Truck is up on jacks.
Yeah, this is what happens in compassionate California. Okay, decided to come down on foot here. This guy's black tank is leaking down here, so that's kind of bad news for everybody in the city to have that. A lot of these people, you don't know whether to feel sorry for them or not, you know? Honestly, isn't that a strange thing to say? But I sure don't like somebody, Missy Jen, whose black tank is leaking all over, huh?
You would think that they at least tried to come and work on that in front of you.
Yeah. Yeah, so.
They try to work on that and get that under control.
Yeah, there's somebody sleeping in here with their AC on. Yeah, the guy didn't want to talk to me, which is okay. That's fine. Well, there it is. You guys saw today the realities of being homeless. Well, houseless, but not homeless in Santa Rosa here. So it's a real dilemma for the city. You're allowed to park on city streets for 72 hours, like I said, but then beyond 72 hours, you have to move. So they move 100 feet or 10 feet, whatever the city requires. And see what kind of camp we have over here. All right, on with the show. you enjoyed the little drone flight there, so we'll head over to what's now become another flashpoint over here. So, see you over there. I think Missy Jen kind of hit the nail on the head too. She was talking about an interview that they did with a homeless woman that was being kicked off of the Joe Redondo Trail. That's the place they went to after they got kicked out behind the Dollar Tree, and asked her why she doesn't go to a shelter or whatever. And her response was, "It doesn't work for us, Jen, because you have to be out of there at 7 a.m. in the morning and you can't come back till 6 p.m. at night." Well, that's when most people were out getting ready and working and all that, so it makes sense.
Right.
But she's like, well, that doesn't really fit us. Well, let's face it, because you just want to be a bum. You want to be lazy. You want to sleep until the crack of noon and not be productive and not do anything. I get that. That's fine. But then you should be forced to, not be on the streets and to be spreading your filth. I mean, this person in that RV is showering and the black tank is leaking all over the ground, and it's a mess. It's a sanitation and an environmental disaster to have these people with no hookups, and you know damn well at nighttime they just pull the valve, Jen, and that's it, right?
Oh yeah, of course.
You know damn well, just pull the valve and let it rip.
They let it all run out.
And
they don't care.
I don't know. So people are the compassion is starting to run out a little bit in a city, Jen. It's really super compassionate. It takes a lot to wear people down, but now with the loss of all of the houses here in Santa Rosa, the huge hit to the tax base. When you're talking about $1,500 million plus homes burning down, can you imagine the taxes that are lost on that now? Not to mention the other 5,000 homes, the Kmart's, the businesses. I mean, it's a huge tax hit for the city, and they just can no longer afford it. Let's head down here now and take a look. Now come to our other place, and some of you guys will recognize this is where I walk Georgie down here, and it's just reached a point down here I don't really even feel comfortable coming down anymore.
There you got an ass crack hanging out there.
This will be the next flash point along here that we have trouble. And this is we're crossing over the trail now, which was the Joe Redondo Trail. And you can look down here, you can see all the mess down there that's now been generated.
It's just trash.
It's just all trash down there.
It's just amazing how much
and it's amazing how many people are young and able-bodied too. That's the thing that kills me. That's the thing that absolutely kills me, is that I'm paying tax dollars to support through public programs these people to be out here, be subjected to eventual drug use, and just
how fast the trash accumulates. It's just
life on the public dole.
Insane.
That's going to be a wrap today, guys. Thanks for being along. We explore a little bit more of the homeless diaspora here in Santa Rosa.